Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the gym. It is your guy, Boulanger. Up next. Okay, take two, go. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the gym. It is your guy, Boulanger. Up next, continuing to assess the 2024-25 failure. Let's talk. So, you guys know we heard from Lamar Jackson and assessed his video. We took some time to listen to what they had to say at the facility and their perspective on who's to blame. We gave some respect to that because they were a collection of former players who understand the game, understand the moment, understand responsibility on and off the field. And now we're going to turn our attention back to the Baltimore Ravens, and we're going to listen to two different guys who play on the same side of the ball. We're going to take a listen to Roquan Smith and his post-game press comments, and we're going to take a listen to Kyle Hamilton and his post-game press conference comments. And it's going to help us assess what went wrong defensively, but also it's going to speak to some things that had went wrong in the regular season and also historically for the Baltimore Ravens and how we keep ending up in the same spot. So let's not delay. Let's listen to Roquan Smith first.
But does it hurt even more, or when it ends this abruptly, when it happens when it looks like you have a chance to tie in? Does it, again, the way the game ended, does it hurt a little bit more than regular?
I would say absolutely. At the end of the year, there's obviously only one team that's hosting that trophy. But personally, I'd rather get my heart ripped out every time at that game or compete for that. So at the end of the day, any loss sucks. And obviously, in this one, knowing that this, the last time that each and every guy be in that locker room together. And, that's what life's about, creating memories. And we didn't play good enough to create more memories with each other. And so thinking about that, and that's just, it sucks. I guess it's life at the end of the day.
Kyle said not being physical enough. Do you agree with that? Do you think that was an issue in the first half?
The first half, yeah. I think, honestly, hats off to those guys. But when I looked at it, coming over to the sideline, everything that they got was self-inflicted. And I feel like that's the case most of the time. But, hats off to those guys for making those plays and capitalizing on the things that we didn't do so great. And that starts with each and every person doing your 111, including myself.
Obviously, this defense really changed a lot in terms of its performance after the bye week and that 5-0 run. What do you think the defense had to do this year to kind of get to that level where you almost were playing in the AFC Championship?
Yeah, absolutely. It's never about how you start, but it's about how you finish at the end of the day. And I think it's just a testament to each and every guy on the defensive side of the ball, going through the face of adversity and, coming out whichever way, opinions want to say in a sense. And I just think it goes to, the guys that's in that locker room. And obviously we didn't play good enough to get the dub today. And that's all that it is to it. And got to play better if we want to win. And it's not pointing fingers at anybody. It's about each and every person looking themselves in the mirror, because not anyone that was on defense played a perfect game. So it's about doing your 111 consistently enough to be on the winning side.
Yeah, when you listen to Roquan Smith, he kind of has a reserved, ho-hum kind of attitude. Yeah, it's a loss, kind of in the context of it's just a part of the game. You either win or you lose. Only one team's going to celebrate. Now, I'm not telling you that's what he said, but that's kind of the perspective. And we'll get him next time. And I give my all, and all those kind of cliche run-of-the-mill things, right? But Roquan Smith is a veteran in this league. Being in the league, I think 6 or 7 seasons now, he's in the position to make good money doing what he does, highest paid linebacker in the league. And so he has and should have enough understanding of urgency of moments, right? He has to have an understanding that, hey, these moments we can't take for granted. And I think he does understand that, but he kind of comes off as, hey, there's always next game, next season, next time. Right. And part of that, I think, is because Roquan hasn't had any type of major injury. I hope that he doesn't for his sake and for the team's sake. And so he doesn't understand what it means to lose a half of a season to an injury, a whole season to an injury. So therefore, there is no urgency in his thought process. He just sees the game as, hey, we got to come back out next year and be better and take care of what we need to take care of. And I appreciate that, too, the business of it. But what I don't respect or appreciate is the lack of urgency. the lack of frustration and aggravation. And I understand everybody doesn't communicate frustration and aggravation like Lamar Jackson. But Roquan, being a veteran, being a captain, being a leader, I thought that he just had a regular season mentality to this loss. If you check out some of his regular season post-game press conferences and losses, and you check out this press conference, they're the exact same. But the moments are much, much different, right? This was an underperformance by this defense. It was an underperforming season by Roquan Smith. That's why I always had a problem with him running off at the mouth. He's the biggest mouth runner on the team to have had an underperforming season with understanding. He did make the Pro Bowl, but that had to be based on him just playing the game this season, being available this season, that his actual impact. When you go back and you check out the entire season, and even when you come to this game and you close it out, where's the impact play by Roquan? Where is the devastating sack that he made this season? Where is the game-changing interception that he made? Where is the tackle for loss that knocked the ball out and we had an opportunity to recover and go score? Where is it? Where was that sideline devastation that you saw when he was mixed with Patrick Queen? You didn't see it this season. So his Pro Bowl status had to be based upon name recognition and just being available. Because when you think about, take for example, Roquan, and you think about a Matt Milano from this past game, it was night and day. You heard Matt Milano's name called over and over and over. But I don't even remember Roquan's name being called in this game. I'm sure he recorded some stats, but his impact was not felt, and it wasn't felt this season to me at all. He played like he was just a regular linebacker when he's been paid like one of the best in the league. And Roquan is one of those guys who has to step it up and come into 2025 and make some impact. It's another one of those Baltimore Ravens signings that seem to be one of those guys that got their money and then stepped off a cliff, so to speak. But on the converse, let's listen to the young Kyle Hamilton, who's only been in the league half the time that Roquan has. Let's listen to his perspective.
Kyle, John was obviously talking about the second half performance of the defense. When you were in the locker room at halftime, what was the adjustment? What was said? What do you think kind of turned around for you guys in terms of performance?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really any adjustments being made. It's just, you got to do your job. Just be more physical. You can draw up all the plays you want to. If you don't have dudes going to hit people, then it's not going to work. And I didn't think we were physical enough in the first half. Second half, I thought we did better. Could have done better throughout the whole game. But, I think they ran the same duo play like 10-plus times tonight. And that's honestly just not a good showing of what we can do as a defense. I feel like that's somewhat disrespectful. And for us to allow to do that, that's just out of character for us. So, we can pinpoint different things that happened this and there. At the end of the day, it just wasn't enough to get the job done.
Yeah, when you listen to Kyle Hamilton, he's not irate or super emotional, but he's more matter of fact. And the thing that he says above all, we weren't physical, which means exactly what I said in the first video. They got punked. That is a crime in Baltimore Ravens team history, not to be physical as a defense. Right? See, when you have Meta BK, Michael Pierce, Travis Jones along that defensive line, it's a crime not to be physical. When you have a first-round pick in Odafe, it's a crime not to be physical. Matter of fact, did Odafe even play? Because I didn't hear his name called either. And I think that Kyle Hamilton is softly calling out the defense and the play because he absolutely says that they were out-physicaled. And I think that's part of the reason why the Bills didn't have to make any type of real explosive play. Because the Baltimore Ravens defense, again, were bend but don't break. Sometimes that works, right? That works in the regular season, bend but don't break. But in the postseason, when everybody you're facing is good, and when it's win or go home, there has to be somebody who's willing to step up and make a game-changing play. And if you turn the tape on from Kyle Hamilton, you will hear his name called several different times about the ground he covers to make a play, about the physicality that he played with. It's a night and day context for this game in particular between Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton. And I think that that's part of the Baltimore Ravens problem. Defensively, to be specific, defensively, They don't have anybody with a high level of physicality other than Kyle Hamilton. They don't have anybody who is a dog like that, right? Roquan is a good player, but he's never great, specifically this season. Kyle Hamilton started off a little slow, but he picked it up, and he earned his Pro Bowl status and showed up in this past game. But those guys who get paid around him, they didn't show up. Marlon Humphrey, $100 million corner, he didn't show up in this game. In fact, he could have made a tackle that changed the course of a drive. When he has James Cook dead to rights, he whiffs. James Cook picks up 9 yards and keeps the ball moving for the Buffalo Bills. The $100 million Meta BK, I don't remember his name being called, but maybe once. See, people will talk about players on name recognition, but I want people to start being recognized for what they actually do. And the big time players, name on the back of the jersey type players, they didn't show up in this game other than Kyle Hamilton. Tavius Robinson was more of an impact in this game than anybody else in that defensive front. And when you have that as a problem, that explains why the Baltimore Ravens end seasons the way they end them. They have guys who show up in the playoffs like it's a regular season contest. You name the player. You name the player who showed up in this game other than Tavius Robinson, who was very good based on who he is. He was very good against the run, and he made some plays kind of pressure with a little bit of pressure. And Kyle Hamilton, and that's it. That's it. And so that's why it's also a leadership thing, because John Harbaugh approaches every game the same way. When you listen to his post-game press conference in the regular season, it was very similar to the one you heard from this past Sunday. Matter of fact, we'll listen to John Harbaugh's press conference and you will see exactly what I mean. So I think that's what the Baltimore Ravens' problem is. There's no sense of urgency in this organization, and there's only a few players who play with a sense of urgency. Let me know what you guys think about the conversation that they had with the media between Roquan and Kyle Hamilton. I'm your guy Boulanger, and I'm out.